Hi, Alicia.
Hey, Jared. Welcome, everyone, to Vibrations and Manifestations.
So today we're tackling something that seems to be, well, everywhere right now. This idea of making huge, like sudden positive changes. People call them quantum leaps.
Yeah, it's a really captivating idea, isn't it? Like, who wouldn't want that big breakthrough overnight? So today we're getting to something really fascinating. It's that feeling when, like, a switch just flips and boom, everything changes.
Yeah, those quantum leaps.
Exactly. Those moments that feel like they come out of absolutely nowhere.
Right. You look back maybe months later and your life is just completely different. And it
Yeah.
feels like it happened, in an instant.
Totally. Maybe it's a huge career shift, or sometimes it's more subtle, like a profound internal change.
That feeling of being stuck
Yeah.
and then suddenly you're not.
I've definitely been there. I remember years ago, stuck in this job, just draining the life out of me. I knew deep down I wanted something creative, something that like really resonated.
That pushing against a wall feeling.
Hmm.
So many of us know that.
Yeah. And for months, nothing seemed to change. But then I remember this one specific day, I'd been for a long walk, really letting myself feel what it would feel like, to be doing work I loved.
Connecting with the feeling of it.
Exactly. And I just knew inside this certainty, like, okay, I'm ready now. No plan, no steps, just a decision.
Just that internal click.
And literally 2 days later, an old contact emails me out of the blue about this freelance media project.
Wow.
That one project just opened everything up, led to a whole new career, felt totally quantum at the time. But looking back,
You see the buildup.
yeah, it was the result of all that um, inner wanting and then that final moment of clarity, of
Boom.
readiness.
That resonates so much. I had something similar recently, but like smaller scale.
Mm.
Just feeling this pull for more spontaneous joy.
Moments.
Yeah, not life-changing stuff, just unexpected smiles. I actually thought, wouldn't it be nice if little bits of joy just popped up?
Huh. Be careful what you wish for. Right?
Well, it was almost funny. That same afternoon, this little kid, total stranger, hands me a perfect dandelion flower.
Oh, that's lovely.
Then later, a friend sends a surprise gift, just 'cause. It was like a string of these tiny little mini
Many miracles. I love that.
It really felt like just being open to the idea of joy had shifted something.
Those are such great examples. They show how our inner state, that feeling, really does seem to influence what shows up outside.
Definitely.
So that's what we're diving into today, just for you listening. These quantum leaps, these seemingly sudden shifts. We're going to look at them from two angles.
Right. We'll explore the vibrational perspective, drawing a lot from Abraham Hicks' teachings.
And we'll also dig into the science. What's actually happening in our brains when these rapid changes occur?
Yeah, the neuroscience behind it. The goal is really to understand what these leaps are, how they happen, and crucially, how you can become more, well, receptive to them yourself.
So we'll cover what a quantum leap actually is from both viewpoints, how to get yourself aligned.
In a way that feels real, not forced.
Yeah. And the surprising power of just making a clear decision, releasing that resistance.
And we'll wrap up with a guided visualization, some affirmations, and practical steps you can take away.
Sounds good. Okay, so let's start there. What is a quantum leap, really? It sounds so big, dramatic.
It does, doesn't it? But essentially, in our lives, it feels like a major, often unexpected jump in your experience.
Not just slow, steady progress.
Exactly. Feels non-linear,
Yeah.
like skipping a few steps. And from a manifesting angle, it often looks like something you've wanted just appears without that obvious step-by-step A to B cause and effect we usually expect.
Right. It kind of bypasses that whole grind it out mentality, which leads us nicely into the Abraham Hicks perspective, doesn't it?
It really does. Their whole framework is built on this idea that the universe or source energy is always ready, always poised to deliver what we desire.
The energy's there.
The energy's absolutely there.
Huh.
The missing piece often is us, our readiness, our alignment, our allowing it in.
So it's not about waiting for the universe, it's the universe waiting for us. It suggests the real key isn't some massive effort like pushing a boulder uphill.
Right. It's more about letting go of something they call resistance.
Exactly. You're actually meant to let good things happen, to allow them in, rather than constantly feeling you should be doing more, striving harder.
Which feels so counter to how we're often conditioned. Push, hustle, make it happen.
Totally. And Hicks offers this concept of downstream thoughts. These are like easier, gentler ways to align yourself instead of fighting upstream against your own beliefs or momentum.
Okay, let's unpack that. Quantum leaps.
Yeah.
When those people hear that, what are they picturing? Usually something big and external, right?
For sure, like bam, your income triples or your business suddenly explodes, something really visible and, well, fast.
But that's not quite the Abraham Hicks angle, is it?
Not exactly. From their perspective, the real quantum leap isn't that external event itself. It's the vibrational shift that happens first.
Vibrational shift.
Yeah.
Explain that a bit more. Like our energy,
hmm
our feelings.
Yeah, think of it like your dominant emotional state, the energy you're putting out. Positive emotions are like a higher frequency, negative ones lower. They argue this internal vibrational shift has to precede the big external change.
So it starts inside with how we're actually feeling deep down.
Precisely. They explicitly say a quick manifestation turnaround can't happen unless there's an emotional adjustment. You might desperately want that instant result out there.
But the groundwork is internal. Achieving that vibrational alignment first, feeling the essence of the desire.
You got it. Feeling it as if it's already real in your experience, even before the physical proof shows up.
Okay, that makes a certain kind of sense.
Okay.
But then why isn't everyone just, feeling great and manifesting amazing stuff all the time?
Yeah.
That's where this resistance thing comes in.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And yes, that's exactly where resistance fits in.
So what is it in their terms?
Resistance is essentially any contradictory momentum, those nagging doubts, limiting beliefs, worries, fears, any thought pattern or feeling that energetically pushes against what you say you want, it creates friction.
They have that three-step process to illustrate it too, right?
Yes, that's really helpful. Step one is contrast, basically, life showing you what you don't want, which is normal, even necessary.
Okay, and that helps you clarify what you do want.
Exactly. That automatically triggers step two, asking. Your desire is launched, vibrationally speaking, and source energy, that broader non-physical part of you, immediately answers. It lines up with that desire
So the desire is heard, the answer is there.
instantly. The tricky part for us is step three, allowing or receiving. And that's where resistance gums up the works. We block the reception.
Ah, so it's like we place the order, the universe has it ready for delivery, but our door is locked.
That's a perfect analogy, yeah. We might be saying, I want abundance, but if we're feeling lack, feeling worried about bills, feeling insecure, that's the dominant vibration we're sending out.
And that's what keeps coming back.
Right. True focus on prosperity isn't just repeating words, it's feeling secure, feeling expectant, feeling ease, that sort of happy anticipation. That's the signal that counts.
So it goes way beyond just thinking positive thoughts on the surface.
Much deeper. The idea is you're always connected to that flow of well-being, that source energy. But resistance, like feeling unworthy or angry or anxious, it's like static. It obscures your perception of that connection.
Okay, so how do we clear the static? How do we actively release resistance and get into that state of allowing? What do they suggest?
Well, those downstream thoughts we mentioned earlier are key tools. They're thoughts that just feel a little bit better, a little easier to believe right now.
Can you give some examples?
Sure, like instead of forcing yourself to believe, I'm suddenly debt-free, which might feel impossible, maybe try something like, okay, there's no major rush here, or, I'm actually pretty good at managing things day to day, or even, it's okay not to have it all figured out this second.
So finding relief, thoughts that just soften the struggle a bit.
Exactly. Or things usually tend to work out for me in the end. It's about easing that internal friction, not necessarily leaping straight to euphoria.
Makes sense. What else helps release resistance?
Quieting the mind is a big one. Practices like meditation can be incredibly powerful for letting go of resistant thought patterns and just allowing yourself to feel that connection to source.
Yeah, but sometimes meditation feels like another struggle, doesn't it? If your mind is just buzzing,
Oh, absolutely. If you're starting from a place of really high resistance, forcing meditation can feel counterproductive. And that's where appreciation comes in so powerfully.
just focusing on gratitude.
Yes, simply shifting your focus to things you genuinely appreciate right now can put you in a state of alignment faster than wrestling with a hyperactive mind in meditation. It's a very high vibration.
So finding things to feel good about, genuinely good about.
Exactly. And if meditation does work for you, the techniques are often simple. Focus on your breath, listen to a sound, gaze softly at an object. The goal isn't some mystical state necessarily.
Just left mental noise.
Pretty much. Reaching a state of no thought, or at least less thought, allows that pure positive energy of source to be felt more clearly without the filter of resistance.
And what happens when we consistently do that, when we release resistance more often?
You start feeding the negative momentum. And when you stop pushing against things, the natural positive momentum of your inner being, which is always focused on love, appreciation, well-being, starts to flow more easily.
So you just naturally start to feel better,
Mm.
more worthy, more optimistic.
That's the idea. Feelings of worthiness, ease, and general well-being become more your default state because you're not actively blocking them anymore.
Okay, now they also talk quite a bit about this thing called the vortex. Can you explain that concept?
Right. The vortex. It's a core idea. They describe it as a vibrational reality, not physical, but very real energetically, that already holds everything you've ever asked for,
Everything.
everything you've decided you want, born out of your life experiences, especially the contrast. The vibrational essence of your dreams, your solutions, your improved relationships, your abundance, it's already gathered there vibrationally.
Wow. Okay, so it's like an energetic holding tank for all our desires?
Kind of, yeah. Or maybe like a blueprint that's already complete on an energetic level. The resistance we feel isn't the universe holding back, it's us not letting ourselves tune into that frequency where it already exists.
And the way to access it, to bring it into our physical life, is to become a vibrational match to it.
Exactly. It's about aligning your current feeling state, your dominant vibration, with the feeling of already being in that vortex, already having those things.
That can be tough, though. Hearing it already exists, when you look around and see the opposite, that can be frustrating.
Totally understandable. And they acknowledge that. They clarify that the version in the vortex is unconditional, meaning the physical conditions haven't manifested yet, but focusing hard on what is, especially if it's unwanted.
It keeps you tuned to that frequency, keeps the unwanted stuff coming.
Precisely. The shift comes when you practice focusing on the feeling of what's in the vortex, the essence of your desire, rather than the absence of it in your physical reality right now.
Less focus on the how and when, more on the what it feels like.
You got it. And this ties right back into that quantum leap idea.
How so?
Well, they contrast trying to painstakingly climb the emotional scale,
Yeah.
moving from despair to anger, anger to frustration, frustration to hope, bit by bit.
Yeah, which can feel like really slow work.
It can. They suggest a true quantum leap is less about that incremental climb and more about just letting go, decisively releasing the resistance and allowing yourself to sync up with your inner being with that vortex vibration more suddenly.
So, like dropping the struggle instead of trying to manage it step by step.
Kind of, yeah. And a big part of enabling that leap is cultivating satisfaction with where you are right now, being okay with yourself, even with
But
imperfections.
isn't that contradictory? If you're satisfied, why would you want change?
It's subtle, it's not complacency, it's reducing the vibrational gap between your current state and the vortex. If you're constantly beating yourself up about where you are, you're amplifying the distance. Finding things to appreciate about yourself in your life now closes that gap.
Okay, so accepting the now makes it easier to allow the next.
Exactly. They also emphasize that your inner being is always reaching for more expansion. That's natural. Accepting that constant becoming can reduce the angst about not being there yet. And remember contrast, experiencing what you don't want.
Yeah, step one.
It's vital. It gives you clarity. So embracing the whole process, imperfections and all, is actually part of the expansion that leads to those leaps.
That's a much more forgiving perspective.
Yeah.
Okay, so if the shift is vibrational, where is our point of power to actually make that shift?
It's always, always, always in the present moment. Right here, right now.
Even if we're thinking about the past or worrying about the future.
Yep. Because the act of thinking and feeling is happening now. Your vibration is being generated now. That's the only place you can change it.
So the present moment isn't just where life happens, it's where we create the next moment.
Precisely. Your inner being, they say, is already living the vibrational equivalent of your desired future. You, in this moment, are either aligning with that or resisting it.
And that alignment, that shift in the now, that's the quantum leap.
That's the essence of it. It's the vibrational emotional shift in your present moment that allows that future possibility already existing in the vortex to become your physical reality. As your now changes vibrationally, your future potential shifts too.
Even the unwanted stuff happening now is contributing, in a way.
Yes, by helping you define more clearly what is wanted, what's being lined up in your vortex for the future. There's a quote that sums this up perfectly. You can't make a quantum leap if you haven't been lining up incrementally. But sometimes the jump looks huge because you've been becoming a cooperative component all along.
Ah, okay, so that lining up incrementally, that's the key. It's not random.
Not at all. There's this unseen preparation, this vibrational groundwork being laid. The leap looks sudden, but it's the culmination, the final piece clicking.
But all the other pieces had to be put in place vibrationally first.
Precisely. And what often stops that final piece from clicking?
Doubt, resistance.
Exactly. Our own internal static. We want something, the universe is ready, but those thoughts like, can this really happen for me? Or it's too good to be true. They create a vibrational mismatch.
Like hitting the gas and the brake simultaneously?
Perfect analogy.
Yeah.
So a real quantum leap isn't some shortcut to avoid the inner work. It's the opposite.
It's the result of the inner work, the result of achieving that alignment. Yes. It's crucial to get that. It's not a trick. It's about shifting your dominant vibration. As they say, the universe is not responding to your words, it's responding to your vibration. And your vibration aligns the moment your doubt disappears.
Wow. That hits hard. It really puts the responsibility back on our internal state, doesn't it?
Completely. And our emotions are the best indicator of that state, right? Feeling good isn't just nice, it's informative.
It tells you you're on the right track vibrationally.
Absolutely. They talk about focusing on something like prosperity. If you're truly aligned with it, the feelings that come up naturally are security, ease, expectation, even that happy anticipation.
So you feel prosperous before the money shows up.
That emotional shift is the vibrational leap.
Hmm.
The external reality then reorganizes to match it.
Okay, so the feeling comes first, and this relates to the concept of the vortex, right? Can you unpack that a little for us?
Sure. Think of the vortex as like an energetic holding tank, a vibrational reality that already contains the essence of everything you've ever asked for.
So everything we desire is already created vibrationally.
That's the idea. It exists in this non-physical realm.
Hmm.
Our job isn't to create it from scratch, but to tune our own frequency, our vibration, to match the frequency of what's already in the vortex.
Become a vibrational match.
Become a vibrational match, and you can start to feel those feelings, the relief, the joy, the prosperity, before you see any outward evidence. You can become vibrationally prosperous first.
The inner shift is the main event.
Yeah.
Always. They use this great analogy. Imagine source energy as a powerful flowing stream. The law of attraction is like the manager making sure like attracts like
And we are like willing floating boats on that stream. Our job isn't to paddle furiously upstream or try to control the current.
just to float, to allow.
Exactly. Release the oars of resistance and let the stream carry you towards what you want. It emphasizes ease and allowance.
Willing floating boats. I like that image. It feels much less effortful. And didn't you mention something about how much of the manifestation is already done once the desire is formed?
Yes, this is fascinating. They often say that the moment you identify a desire, something you truly want, about 97% of the creative work is vibrationally complete.
97%. Seriously.
Seriously, your inner being, the non-physical part of you, immediately focuses on it. The remaining 3%, that's our part.
Which is
Allowing it in, getting out of the way,
Huh.
stopping the resistance that holds it at bay.
Wow. So the asking itself is incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
Now, we're talking about these big, sudden feeling leaps, but does Abraham Hicks actually suggest we should be striving for those dramatic overnight transformations?
That's a really good question. And interestingly, no, not really. While they acknowledge that big shifts can happen, especially after intense contrast sparks a powerful desire.
Like hitting rock bottom sometimes forces clarity.
Kind of. But their general guidance leans more towards gentle, consistent alignment. They actually advise against trying to force huge leaps through intense emotional effort or enduring negativity, hoping for a big flip.
So incremental shifts are better.
More sustainable, more comfortable, and ultimately more enjoyable. It's about gradually raising your vibrational baseline, feeling a little better, then a little better again, rather than trying to, catapult yourself from despair to ecstasy overnight.
That feels more doable. More human. Okay, so that's the vibrational angle. Super interesting. Now, let's switch gears a bit. What's happening upstairs in our brains during these shifts?
Yeah, the neuroscience perspective is equally compelling, and it lines up surprisingly well. The big concept here is neuroplasticity.
The brain changing itself.
Exactly. Our brains aren't fixed. They're constantly rewiring based on our experiences, thoughts, and beliefs. When we form a new belief or have one of those aha moments, actual neural pathways change.
So our internal shifts literally reshape our brain structure. How does that lead to sudden changes in perception or opportunity?
Well, think about the reticular activating system, the RAS. It's like the brain's filter or bouncer.
Decides what gets our attention.
Precisely. It sifts through the millions of bits of sensory info hitting us every second. When your vibration, your focus, your internal state shifts significantly, the RAS recalibrates.
Okay.
It starts highlighting things in your environment, opportunities, information, people that now match your new internal frequency. Things you literally didn't notice before suddenly seem obvious.
Ah, so it's like tuning a radio. You change the frequency, and suddenly you hear a new station that was always broadcasting.
That's a great way to put it.
Hmm.
And another piece is the default mode network, DMN.
What's that?
It's the network that's active when our minds are wandering, ruminating, thinking about ourselves, the past, the future, kind of the background chatter.
Got it.
When we achieve states of alignment, presence, or deep focus, activity in the DMN tends to quiet down.
Less mental noise.
Exactly. And that creates space. Mental quiet allows those sudden insights, those aha moments, to bottle up more easily. They're not drowned out by the usual chatter.
So less noise, more signal. You mentioned a software update analogy earlier.
Oh, yeah. Think about installing a major update on your phone or computer. The download might happen in the background, taking time.
Right, you don't always notice that part.
But when you hit install, the changes seem almost instantaneous. Poof, new features, new interface. Our brain can be like that. The gradual rewiring, the neuroplastic changes from focusing on a new belief or intention. That's the background download.
And the quantum leap feeling is the moment the installation completes.
Kind of, yeah. It feels sudden, but the groundwork was being laid all along.
That makes so much sense. And what about the role of identity? You mentioned our sense of self is key.
Hugely important. Neuroscience shows our brains are wired to maintain a consistent self-image. Regions like the ventromedial prefrontal cortex, the VMPFC, are involved in both self-processing and reward.
Self and reward are linked in the brain.
Deeply. It suggests that actions and beliefs aligning with who we think we are feel inherently rewarding and motivating. Our brain literally rewards us for being consistent with our identity.
So if I start seeing myself as, say, a healthy person, my brain will actually make it feel good to make healthy choices.
That's the mechanism, yes. Studies show reflecting on core values, which affirms identity, lights up the VMPFC and the striatum, which is all about reward and motivation. And that activity predicts positive behavior change.
Incredible. So aligning with who we want to be neurologically smooths the path. This must be why I am statements are so powerful.
Absolutely. Psychology backs this up strongly. Framing goals in terms of identity, I am a runner, is far more effective than obligation, I should run, or ability, I can run.
It shifts from something you do to something you are.
Precisely. It becomes an expression of self, not just a task.
Yeah.
There are even studies showing how reframing questions impacts behavior.
Like what?
Like asking people, how important is it to you to be a voter? Gets higher turnout than asking, how important is it to you to vote?
Subtle difference, big impact. Taps into identity.
Exactly. It's identity-based motivation theory in action. We are strongly driven to act in ways consistent with our self-concept. Coaches even use identity packs, getting clients to declare, I am a healthy eater, because it works.
Wow. So our self-image is like a magnet for our behavior and experiences, and those aha moments, those sudden insights. Do they look different in the brain too?
They do. Brain imaging studies show these moments have distinct neural signatures, often a burst of high-frequency activity, especially in the brain's right hemisphere, right before the solution pops into awareness.
A literal flash of insight.
Kind of, yeah. And solutions arrived at via aha moments tend to be remembered better and feel more satisfying.
That rings true. That feeling of sudden clarity is powerful. Okay, so if we look at people who've made really big life changes, are there common patterns in how these leaps happen?
There seem to be. A large meta-study looked at significant habit change and found a common sequence often unfolds.
What's the sequence?
It often starts with some kind of conflict or crisis, a wake-up call that really boosts motivation.
Okay, the catalyst.
Then, the person takes a small, manageable first step in a new direction. Something concrete.
Starts the momentum, yes. And here's the crucial part. If that small step is successful, it often triggers a shift in self-perception. They start to see themselves differently. Hey, maybe I can do this. Maybe I am this kind of person now. Ah, the identity shift begins.
Exactly. And that new emerging identity then powerfully fuels more motivation, accelerating the whole transformation. It becomes a positive feedback loop.
Wake-up call, small win, identity shift, more motivation, bigger changes.
You got it. Which explains why big shifts can feel sudden, even though the brain has been gradually rewiring through all those repeated thoughts, small actions, and reinforcements of the new identity.
It's the internal landscape aligning values, identity, beliefs that finally tips the scales.
Right. When the brain's value system and self-concept click into a new alignment, that's the decisive leap into a new way of being, and often a new external reality follows.
Fascinating. So it's not about forcing the outside, but cultivating the inside until the leap becomes almost inevitable.
Beautifully put. Okay, so we understand the mechanics, both vibrationally and neurologically. Now, the big question, how do we get ready? How can you, listening right now, prepare for your own leap? What are some concrete steps someone listening right now could take to start making this vibrational shift happen in their own life?
Okay, practical steps. First, big one. Consciously decide to stop comparing yourself to others. Just drop it.
Easier said than done sometimes, but okay.
True, but crucial. Recognize that well-being, that source energy, flows to everyone. Someone else's success doesn't take away from yours. Second, deliberately focus your awareness on what you want. Catch yourself dwelling on problems and gently pivot.
Pivot to the desired outcome, or just something that feels better.
Either or both, whatever feels like relief. Third, this is important. Be deliberate about feeling good before you jump into situations or interactions. Take a moment to tune yourself vibrationally first.
Like setting your emotional intention for the day or before a meeting.
Exactly. A pre-paving, they might call it. Fourth, keep that creative process in mind. Ask. Contrast does this automatically. It's given. Source aligns. Allow your main job, release resistance.
Right, focus on step 3.
Absolutely. Which leads to 5. Make feeling good your priority, not as a luxury, but as your primary work. Seek out thoughts and activities that genuinely uplift you.
So feeling good isn't selfish, it's strategic.
It's fundamental to allowing. Sixth, consciously engage with things that match your desired vibration. Surround yourself with people, places, activities that feel good, that resonate with where you want to be.
Like attract, like vibrationally.
You got it. Seventh, when good things do happen or you feel a great connection, really savor it, revel in it.
Yeah.
Don't feel you have to immediately analyze why or explain it away. Just enjoy the feeling.
Let the good feelings land.
Yes. And finally, make quieting your mind or focusing on appreciation a regular practice, even 15 minutes a day. Consistency matters more than duration. Meditation, appreciation lists, whatever works for you.
A fundamental starting point is appreciation. Actively looking for things to feel good about now.
Gratitude practice.
Essentially, yes. Focusing on what you appreciate raises your vibration, making you a better match for receiving more good things. It tunes you to abundance.
Like tuning that radio dial again. And what about managing difficult emotions? We can't always feel amazing.
Absolutely not, and that's okay. The key here is emotional soothing, or reaching for a better feeling thought. It's about stabilizing before accelerating.
Using that emotional scale idea, moving up gradually.
Exactly. Find a thought that feels even slightly better, slightly more relieving. It's about gaining emotional equilibrium first. You don't jump from despair to joy. You reach for hope, then optimism.
Okay, stabilize first. And then there's that identity alignment we talked about from the science side.
Yes. Consciously thinking, feeling, and acting like the version of you who has already leaped. Embodying the future self now.
The act as if principle, but grounded in neurology too.
Right. If you want to be confident, start practicing small acts of confidence today. And related to this is the sheer power of making a clear decision.
Just deciding.
Just deciding firmly, unwaveringly, yes, this is happening. I am ready. That act snaps your energy into focus. Often that clear internal commitment is the actual starting pistol for the leap.
Even if you don't know how it's going to happen.
Especially then, letting go of the how is critical. Trusting the process, surrendering the need to control every step clears the path.
Because trying to figure it all out creates resistance.
Huge resistance. Abraham Hicks suggests that when resistance truly drops, manifestation can be incredibly fast, instantaneous even. So the real question becomes, are you really ready? Ready to let go of the old story, the old limitations, and receive the new? That's the million-dollar question. And there are tools to help cultivate that readiness, that vibrational preparedness.
Like scripting, focus wheels.
Exactly. Scripting out your ideal day, using focus wheels to shift your attention towards positive aspects, playing games like Wouldn't It Be Nice If. These all help tune your vibration and embody the feeling of having it now, actively shaping your inner landscape. And I love that idea. I don't have to figure it all out this red-hot minute. Isn't that liberating? It removes so much pressure. Just focus on feeling ready, feeling aligned.
And cultivate that underlying belief. What was the affirmation?
It's natural for things to turn out for me.
Yeah.
Believing fundamentally that you are worthy and that good things flow to you easily, that's transformative.
Because ultimately, feeling good is the work.
Feeling good puts you in the receptive mode. It's the state where you allow the universe, your brain, whatever you want to call it, to bring you the aligned experiences. Prioritize feeling good.
Even with that natural human desire for more, for growth.
That desire is natural and healthy. It's the contrast that fuels creation. It's not about eliminating desire, but about feeling good while reaching.
And what about the past? Do we need to dredge it all up?
Interestingly, the Abraham Hicks perspective is that the past life to let go of is often just your current limiting view of what is.
Yeah.
The essence of past experiences is already integrated. Release attachment to the current limitations.
Focus on releasing present resistance, not dwelling on past events. And the future.
It exists vibrationally now. Your inner being is already there. Manifestation is about aligning your current vibration with that future reality so it can materialize physically.
The vibrational shift comes first. Always.
Always. And all your power is right here, right now, aligning with source, with your inner being in this moment. That's where creation happens.
By focusing on the feeling, the vibrational essence of what you want, rather than being stuck observing what you currently have.
Yes, stop staring at the what is if it doesn't feel good, and focus instead on the vibration of your desire. And, crucially, stop comparing yourself to others.
Focus on your own desires. Let the universe handle the orchestration.
Exactly. And bring your best vibrational self to interactions feel good before you engage, and you'll tend to evoke the best in others too.
It all comes back to managing your own energy first. And those 3 steps of creation, ask, contrast makes this automatic, it is given, source answers immediately, vibrationally, and allow our job, stop resisting. That allowing is the doorway for the leap. So recapping the core idea. Quantum leaps aren't about forcing or chasing.
Not at all. They're about clear decision, emotional alignment, and allowing the unfolding.
The universe is ready. The energy is there. It's about our willingness to receive, to step onto the path.
And remembering those sudden shifts are built on that consistent, often invisible inner alignment work. Every bit counts.
Every moment of joy, clarity, appreciation, self-trust, it's all building the foundation.
Making the leap not something you force, but something that becomes inevitable.
Okay. Let's take a moment now to really anchor this feeling. We'll guide you through a short visualization to help you step into your next level.
Go ahead and find a comfortable position. Just let your body settle and relax. Close your eyes if that feels good, or just soften your gaze downwards.
Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose. And exhale slowly through your mouth, releasing any tension you might be holding. Feel the support beneath you, letting go into gravity.
Another deep breath in, filling your lungs. And as you exhale, consciously relax your shoulders, soften your jaw, let your forehead smooth out. Any thoughts that come can just drift by like clouds. No need to hold on to them.
Now bring to your mind's eye an image of a beautiful threshold. It could be anything. A sun-drenched doorway, a gate leading into a garden, an overlook with a stunning view. The air here feels peaceful, calm, filled with possibility.
Just beyond this threshold lies your next level. The reality where the leap has already occurred, where your desires are your current experience. Standing there just across the threshold is the version of you who is living this reality.
Take a moment to sense this future self. Notice their posture. Maybe they stand taller, more relaxed. See the calm confidence in their eyes, the ease in their movements. This is you, fully aligned, open, ready. Feel the energy radiating from them. Peace, certainty, joy.
Now, feeling a gentle sense of trust, a readiness, not a push. Allow yourself to step across that threshold. Feel yourself merging with this next level version of you.
As you step fully into this energy, notice the feeling. Maybe it's a click, a sense of puzzle pieces fitting perfectly, a feeling of rightness, of harmony. There's no striving here, just alignment. Letting go of resistance. Take a moment inside this feeling and gently ask yourself, what do I know for sure now that I'm here? What feels different inside me? What new beliefs feel natural? What do I expect to happen? How do I treat myself with kindness and respect? How easily do I allow goodness to flow? Just breathe into this knowing. This aligned state is always available within you. Remember, this leap isn't into some scary unknown. It's a step into greater clarity, allowing what's already vibrationally yours to come closer.
Take a few more easy, gentle breaths, anchoring this feeling of alignment deep within your body. Feel it in your heart center, your belly, radiating out to every cell. This feeling of already being there.
And when you feel ready, gently begin to bring your awareness back to the room around you, back to the physical sensations in your body. Maybe wiggle your fingers and toes gently.
And whenever you're ready, slowly open your eyes. Carrying this sense of inner alignment, this feeling of your left self forward with you into your day. The inner shift is done. Now you just enjoy watching the outer world catch up.
Calm, steady, confident, beautiful. And to help solidify this alignment, let's affirm these truths together. You can repeat them silently, aloud, or just absorb the energy.
I am ready for the version of me I've already become.
I allow the universe to effortlessly deliver what I have aligned with.
My decision is clear, my energy is focused and aligned.
I am now open to receiving all that I desire without resistance.
I don't need to figure out all the details. My role is to be ready and allow the unfolding.
I trust the perfect timing of my manifestations because I trust my inner alignment.
Every joyful step I take is an integral part of this leap forward.
My primary focus is to be a cooperative component in my own expansion.
I am living the reality of my desires. I am the miracle unfolding. I am already there.
I am a willing and cooperative participant in my own transformation.
What I desire is not far off. It is simply waiting for me to fully embody my readiness.
I am no longer holding myself back from the abundance I have asked for.
My decision is firm, and I am fully open to receiving all that is now flowing to me.
Okay, take one final deep breath in. And just let it go with a sigh of release. Feel that shift. You've tuned your energy.
And then to help you integrate this, maybe carry it into your week, here are just a few small suggested steps you might like to try.
First, maybe just list 3 specific things that make you feel emotionally ready for the changes you're wanting. What signals that readiness inside you?
Second, think about that leapt version of you we just visualized. What's one small thing you could do today that version of you would just naturally do? Do that one thing.
Third, maybe try scripting. Just for 5 minutes, write out a little scene from a day in your life after the leap. Focus on the feelings, the experiences.
And finally, pick one decision you feel truly ready to commit to, even if it's just internal for now. Write it as a single sentence, I have decided to, or I am now. Say it aloud every morning for the next, say, 5 days. Just notice what shifts, inside or out.
Simple steps, but they can be really powerful for reinforcing that alignment.
So wrapping this up, it really does seem to boil down to that internal landscape, doesn't it? Our vibration.
It really does. The core message here is that those big, lasting quantum leaps you might be seeking, they don't usually come from muscling through or forcing external changes. They blossom from the inside out.
From releasing that resistance, letting go of the struggle, and intentionally aligning with your inner being, with that vortex where your desires already are.
Exactly. It's about becoming a vibrational match to what you want.
This has been fascinating. It really flips the script from push harder to allow more.
It definitely offers a different way to approach creating change. And we really hope, you listening will maybe experiment with some of these ideas, quieting the mind, focusing on appreciation, see how it feels.
Yeah, maybe just pick one thing. So a little something for you to consider. Is there one area of your life right now where you can feel that resistance pretty strongly? That feeling of pushing against something?
And if so, what's just one downstream thought, one slightly gentler, easier feeling perspective you can maybe try on right now, just to ease that feeling a tiny bit?
Because as you start paying more attention to your own vibration, your own feeling state, you might just start noticing things shifting, sometimes subtly, sometimes Maybe not so sudden.
Yeah, your reality starts to reflect that inner alignment more and more, and those quantum leaps might start to feel less like some monumental effort and more like the natural, joyful unfolding they're meant to be. And if this whole topic resonated, if you felt that spark of possibility.
Yeah, definitely check out some of our other deep dives. We've explored emotional alignment, focus wheels, identity shifts in more detail before.
And of course, if you found this helpful, please subscribe to Vibrations and Manifestations. Maybe leave us a review. We love hearing from you.
And share it. If you know someone who feels like they're right on the edge of their own breakthrough, maybe this is exactly what they need to hear today.
Absolutely. And just remember, that leap might feel big from where you're standing now.
But all that inner work, that alignment you've been doing, it's already paved the way. You're so much closer than you think.
Thanks for joining us.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep creating, and keep unlocking your potential.
See ya.